Hi guys, I'm Yasmeen. I'm the editor-in-chief of the Diamondback. I'm here with our sports editors and football writers, Connor Letourneau and Josh Vitale. We're here to recap this weekend's game against Wake Forest. So Josh, what would you say was key to the Terps' victory this weekend?
Had to be their defense. Held Wake Forest to 240 yards outside of 2 touchdown drives. They didn't do much against the Terps' defense all game. They had a goal line stand early in the game that kept Wake Forest out of the end zone. They had 2 big sacks against quarterback Tanner Price on the final drive of the game. Had to be the defense. That was key.
Connor?
I agree. I think the defense was key, but I'm going to go with Stephon Diggs. He was really the only real playmaker out there on Saturday. He had 5 receptions for 105 yards, and he had that 63-yard reception in the fourth quarter that really set up the win for them. So I'm going to go with Stephon Diggs.
Josh, the Terps are 1-0 in the ACC right now. What do you think that means for the rest of ACC play?
1-0 is nice, but it's not that huge of a positive. They have so much work left to do. Wake Forest was missing 6 players due to suspension, 4 of them starters. Also, their top wideout, Michael Campanaro, didn't play due to injury. The offense struggled all game. The defense was strong as usual, but if they're going to do better in the ACC, the offense is going to have to get on the defense's level.
Connor?
I agree. I don't think it really says much so far. Even a healthy Wake Forest team is one of the worst teams in the ACC this season. So beating a depleted Wake Forest team at home, there's not really much you can draw from that. A win is a win, and it is their first conference win in over a year, which is nice. But they're definitely going to need to improve a lot offensively if they're going to compete in the ACC this year.
I know I ask every time, but what'd you think of Perry Hills this week?
Oh, I hadn't even thought about Perry Hills. No, Perry Hills, again, it was a struggle. He had a great game against West Virginia 2 weeks ago, and this week, not less than 200 yards, had another fumble, had another interception. It's just... it's still a growing process, and he's going to get better eventually, but right now he's not on the level the team needs him to be if they're going to start playing some of the upper-level teams in the ACC.
Connor?
It was definitely a disappointing performance for him, especially coming off that performance at West Virginia a couple weeks ago where he had 305 yards and 3 touchdowns. He was 14 for 25, had a touchdown, an interception, 2 fumbles, one of which he lost. And he really just seemed off-kilter all game. Obviously, it didn't help that the O-line was struggling, and he was sacked 3 times. But he really needs to get more consistent, and that's one thing Coach Etzel was really harping on after the game.
And Josh, how would you grade the Terps' performance on Saturday?
I think it's somewhere B-, B range. Defense, again, great. They played well all game. They held Wake Forest to just 14 points. But if the offense is going to play that badly, again, they're not going to win that much in the ACC this year.
Connor?
I would say C+. The defense was solid once again, but the offense had a lot of troubling signs. I was really disappointed in their overall performance. Outside of Stephon Diggs, they really couldn't get anything going. So I'd go C+.
Thanks for joining us. Check back Fridays. We preview this weekend's game at University of Virginia.